She's in the bathroom of Tim Hortons, the one across from the motels, looking in the mirror for the first time since when? Since she put on the mascara that's now smudges under her lashes. That's how long it's been. Something oily will take it off. What has she got in her bag? Lipstick worth a shot. A dab under each eye and then just wipe it off. But now nothing's coming off. Not the fallen mascara, not the lipstick dotted underneath it. She gives up, says to the glass, and that's how it comes to this. That's how she became a fish, swimming this chaotic route, up Howard Avenue, motel to motel, but still not all in and not all out, like riding in a glass-bottom boat, watching her own self twist below, with red eyes and a resignation to this is how it is now, since when? Since the graveyard, he would say, has said it before. The graveyard where he posed for her on tombstones in the sun, after a morning of rebuilding his life from the feet up. A pair of shoes stolen from a porch, yard sale clothing, and a handful of pebbles from the bottom of a pond. That long ago day, she had just watched him, didn't actually jump in, till weeks later, when he lay drowning in the grass on a lawn downtown with the ropes of a Social Security net wrapped around his throat and around her wrists, so that he was struggling for breath, for life, and her hands were tied, looking helplessly at the hospital security guards lined up to make sure he didn't come back. He'd been sound asleep when she'd arrived, slept through the doctor telling her there's nothing medically wrong with him, and slept through the nurse saying, he can't stay here. But he has nowhere to go. No address, no home. You can't just let him sleep? The nurse apologized, but picked up the phone. Security, please. And he was removed, just like that. It happened just like that. Nothing she could do but watch. And the nurse asked, does he want a pair of socks? She took them to rebuild his life again from the feet up. It wasn't that she thought that day that she could save him. Simply, she let herself get caught, get tangled up in the net with him, because it's better to be strangled by the line than to tow it. Simply, she grew fins and this resilient resignation to this is how it is now. Should she have left him that day, 21-year-old Métis lying in the shade? She could have walked away into a calm, white Thanksgiving Sunday. She'd stayed, waiting till he got cold enough to open his eyes and to move. The motel was a temporary solution, a refuge, a shower, a bed. It was a relief, and that sense of relief became her. And then it became her addiction, because the sorrow doesn't just go away. The relief kept her but also kept her from looking ahead and from looking around, so that she didn't see that day the Fisher-Price plastic cars parked beside motel doors, beside moms holding Tim Hortons cups and smoking native cigarettes. What she didn't see that day is that this is where families live. They're schools of fish that noticed her as soon as she jumped in, holding her breath with eyes closed. And who notices her at all now, except the fish? Oh, the others know who she is, but that's just from television news bits. They'll stop her in the grocery store to say, "I saw you on TV." "Yeah," she says. "Yeah, you were talking about some homeless thing." Yeah, that was me. Every TV screen is the transparent floor of a glass-bottom boat, and every audience, passengers drowning in freedom without ever getting wet. She'd complained about it once to a large porcelain fish who'd said, "They talk to you because you're a big deal." The fish sat next to her in the car. They'd been friends since when? Since that time, she'd said, "Social workers are so professional," meaning it and not at the same time. "You're on the bad team," Fish had said, "and that's a good thing. What we need is someone to lead, to embrace the anti-establishment." "And that's me?" she asked. "Oh, well, it can't be me. I'm so dependent on society that truly I'm pro-establishment. I just happen to hate what's been established." Fish carried on. Psychosis for the dreamer is to live above and beyond, inside and outside the status quo. And you know who made me believe that it could be so. I do? Who? The one you got caught up with? The one who made all that come to this? The one who is comfortable with contradiction, who acts with conviction, zeal, but also with utter aloofness and indifference. The one who is condemned and praised simultaneously. But enough about him, it's you we need to help us across. That is, of course, if there is still on the horizon a liberation grandiose and gracious, like pulling out the tablecloth beneath the set of dishes. "So what until then?" she'd asked. "I do miracles, not prophecy," Fish said. "In times of crisis, inaction is worse than doing nothing at all, or even the wrong thing. I hate being stuck against my will, but stuck because of it at the same time. The duality of tweaking." The porcelain man became a porcelain fish. He couldn't breathe like everyone else and got tired of trying to catch his breath. Now that all of that has come to this, she and Fish can say that everything makes them angry, and that they are afraid of loneliness, of what they are capable of, and of what they won't accomplish. "Let's get fucked up on meth," Fish says. "Not for me." "In that case, want to have sex?" "Not really." So instead, she and Fish, two of the most radical of sea creatures, the underwater revolutionaries, turn up the car radio, sing top 40 songs, parked on a dark street, and let themselves get carried along for a moment in the mainstream. The first motel was best, but fishes don't last there. The third one will do, but 400 a week is way more than what's fair. And housekeeping interferes, so she tries to clean his room before they come. Hides blue ties, alcohol, swabs, and the rest. Last night, the carpet was full of copper wire and casing, bits too small for her fingers, so she picked it up with tape wrapped backward around her hand on her knees. They talked about addiction. And what's mine, do you think, she'd asked? Self-sacrifice, he'd answered, watching her kneeling beside the bed, like a little girl saying her prayers. But she is twice his age, not a child. And how, he wondered, do I make her stay? What's making her tear up now? In the bathroom of a Tim Horton, across from the motels at 5 in the morning. Someone told her once that it's impossible to cry and do math at the same time, while fish are always calculating how to make ends meet, how to keep what they already have. Fish are always calculating and almost never cry. Back at the motel, with 2 double-doubles, she doesn't take her coat off right away. You cold, he asks. It's cold in here. How are you not? Woman, I got ice in my veins, but I would still keep you warm. You just never asked me to. And what did you do to your eyes? It was a mistake. Well, you look like an exotic fish. If I fill the bathtub with warm water, he asked, will you stay? She pulls her head under the surface, which is not a glass boat floor, not a television screen, and not a mirror. She opens her eyes.